friends, welcome to my channel. Hey everyone, today's video is a request based video. Actually, one of my subscribers had sent this design and she had asked me to help her teach how to tat this pattern. I've named this pattern as double colored floral motif or split floral motif. You know the reason why I have given this. Half of the flower will be in one color and the other half will be in another color. We make this pattern using both normal rings as well as a new type of ring which is called as split ring. By watching this video, the new things that you'll be learning related to tatting are, firstly, I'll tell you how to tat a split ring. Secondly, I will show you how to make a closed floral motif. All these days I've been showing you lace patterns using single rings, double rings and triple rings. So today I will show you a lace pattern wherein we will be using a closed floral motif. Quickly let me tell you what are the things that are required for doing this pattern. The materials required for doing this pattern are 2 threads. I've taken contrasting colors in silicone thread and you will also need 2 shuttles. I've already wound these 2 threads onto my shuttles. Okay, and I've also joined these 2 strands using a simple knot. This is the pattern that we are going to follow for this lace pattern. First, let me verbally explain the procedure for this pattern. We will start with a split ring. And these are the counts for the double stitches. We will be tatting 4 sets of 5 double stitches separated by 3 picots. Okay, I'll explain to you how to do a split ring later. So we'll start with a split ring, and then once we finish that, we'll close this ring and move on to the second ring. Once it's done, we'll close the ring and do the reverse work, and then move on to ring 3. Okay, so this is ring 3. Once again we'll follow these stitches, then close it up, and finally move on to the 4th ring, which is a split ring. Okay, and then you will continue with the same pattern again, okay, right from the beginning. So how many ever flowers you need, you just keep on adding until the desired length of your lace pattern is attained. Okay, so now when you start, you just decide which is going to be your first shuttle and your second shuttle. Okay, so let's start tatting the first ring, which is a split ring. Okay, so you have to hold this knot and then wrap the thread across your fingers and start with the double stitches that are required for normal ring. Okay, so these 2 double stitches are for normal ring. Okay, so the first half of the double stitch, second half makes 1 double stitch. So like that you do 5 double stitches, 3, 4 and 5. Now we have to leave a picot and then another 5 double stitches, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, in our pattern now you see a slash. This means this is a symbol for a split ring. Okay, so for doing the split ring, you leave the first shuttle that side and you take your second shuttle, and with your hand what you have to do is you have to make your palm face upwards like this with your fingers apart, and then hold your hand thread. This becomes your hand thread now. Okay, earlier this was your hand thread for normal ring. For split ring, we are going to work on this thread. Okay, so this becomes your hand thread. This is your shuttle thread. Now hold the hand thread firmly between your pointed finger and your little finger. The tension should be very tight. Okay, so give some extra pressure on these two fingers and hold it tightly. Take your second shuttle and you start the double stitches. Okay, so for split ring, you will not do the regular double stitches, but you will do the mirror image of the double stitches. That is, the second half of the double stitch will become the first half of the double stitch for split ring. Okay, so you have to do the second half of the double stitch. So for second half, you take the shuttle on top of the hand thread and bring it below. So you have a loop here. Just pull the loop closer to the first double stitch over here. Do not flip. That's very important. Now you do the second half of the double stitch for the split ring, which will be the first half of the double stitch for your normal ring. Okay, so how you do the first half of the double stitches? You hold the shuttle and then bend your 3 fingers over the shuttle thread. You will turn like this, pass the shuttle below and above the hand thread and pull it out. You get a loop. So you just snug it up close to the first half of the double stitch. So this is the first double stitch for your split ring. So we are going to do the second double stitch. Okay, so take the shuttle over and under the hand thread and pull it closer to the center. Okay, now do the second half of the double stitch like this. Okay, so we are doing the stitches backwards. Okay, so the second half of the double stitch, now the first half of the double stitch, 3 double stitches, just put 2 more, 4th double stitch and the 5th double stitch. Okay, so here we don't have to flick, just make sure your second shuttle thread is wound across the hand thread. Okay, so now we have to put a picot. So it's the same way. Leave a gap and hold the half stitch and do the second half of the double stitch, and then you will snug it up. Okay, so like this, do the second double stitch and then the 3rd double stitch and the 4th double stitch, finally the 5th one. Okay, so I have put 5 double stitches, 1 picot and 5 double stitches. Now take the first shuttle and close the ring. Okay, so when you close the ring, this is how your split ring will look. Okay, so split ring is nothing but the normal ring will be split into 2 halves. Okay, so one half will be in one color, the other half will be in another color. We have finished with the first ring. Now we'll move on to the second ring. This is just a normal ring. So let's follow this pattern and do the second ring. Okay, so after the first stitches, we have to join it up with the previous ring. So keep the picot on top of your hand thread and pull up the hand thread, pass your shuttle, tighten it up, and we have joined the second ring with the first one. and continue with these stitches to finish it up. Now I'm done with the stitches that are required for ring 2. The pattern says we have to close it up, so let's do that. Okay, so I've closed ring 2. The next thing that we have to do is reverse work. So I flipped my work. Take the second shuttle, and now you have to tack the third ring. So let's start the third ring. Don't leave any space, just follow the pattern and complete this ring. So I finished the stitches that are required for ring 3. Now let's close it up and move on to the fourth ring, which is a split ring. Okay, so with this thread itself you start tatting the split ring. So first, these two sets of double stitches are the double stitches that we use to tat for normal rings. Okay, so you just do the normal way, first half and then the second half, first half, second half, first half, second half, fourth double stitch and the fifth double stitch. Okay, now we have to join this up with the previous ring. Okay, so this will be ring 2. We have joined ring 4 with ring 2. Again you tat another 5 double stitches normally. Okay, first half and the second half, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so one half of the ring is over. Keep the shuttle away. Now we have to do the stitches required for split ring. Okay, so you take your second shuttle and then keep your palm facing upwards. Hold the thread between your index finger and little finger tightly and start tatting the double stitches for split ring. Okay, second half first. Snug it up closer. Okay, don't leave any gap. Now do the first half. Okay, snug it up, one double stitch, the second half of the double stitch, snug it up, first half. Okay, so the third double stitch, fourth double stitch and the fifth one. Okay, so now the pattern says we have to join this with the previous ring. So see how I'm joining. So I'm taking this kind of hooked shuttle for help. So pass the hook through the picot of the ring that's closest to you and pull up the thread through this picot. Okay, make sure it is not twisted. Okay, now pass the shuttle from underneath the loop. Okay, now we have joined. So after joining, just check whether this shuttle thread is moving freely. Okay, then carry on with the last set of double stitches for split ring. Okay, so second half, first half, second half, first half, second half, first half, third double stitch, fourth one and the last fifth double stitch. We have finished these stitches. Take the first shuttle and pull up the thread to close it. So we have tatted the first flower for the lace pattern. So if you want to use this as a single floral motif, you can just put a knot and cut the strands and apply little gum. Okay, and on the back side of the motif, stick the thread, cut off the excess thread. Okay, so do the same thing for this end also. But if you are going to continue as a lace pattern, then you have to repeat this sequence all over again. Okay, so first one will be a split ring. As you're doing, just keep on checking whether you're doing the stitches correctly by just pulling this thread, okay, to and fro. So now I have tatted one half of the ring with normal double stitches. Now we have to do the double stitches for the split ring. Okay, so you just take the second shuttle, turn your palm upwards, okay, and you start tatting the double stitches required for the split ring. Okay, second half and then the first half, second half and then the first half. 3, 4, 5. So now you have to put a picot. Okay, leave a small gap, hold the knot to the first half stitch, okay, and snug it up. Now continue with the stitches, 4 more double stitches. So once this is done, you just close it up and then go on to the second ring, which is a normal ring. Follow the pattern, try to finish the second floral motif for this lace pattern. Now I've finished tatting the double stitches required for the second ring for the second floral motif of this lace pattern. Let's close it up. Okay, after closing, do the reverse work, take the second shuttle and now tat the double stitches for the normal ring 3. I have finished the stitches that are required for ring 3 for the second flower. I've closed it up. Let's do the last ring, which is a split ring. Let me tat the stitches the normal way. Okay, so after 5 double stitches, join it up, continue with another 5 double stitches as usual. Now after this, take your second shuttle, turn your palm upwards. Now we are going to tat the stitches for the split ring. Okay, so second half of the double stitch, just snug it up closer to the stitch. Now do the second half of the double stitch. So this is one double stitch, second double stitch, third double stitch, fourth double stitch and the fifth double stitch. After 5 double stitches, now we have to join it up. Okay, so pull up the hand thread through the picot, pass your shuttle through the loop and then tighten it up. Make sure there's no knot. Okay, the green thread should be on top. Continue with another 5 double stitches for the split ring. Okay, so do the mirror image of the stitches, second half of the double stitch and then the first half, second half, first half, second half and the first half. Okay, so it's the last double stitch. Once you're done with the 5 double stitches, take the first shuttle and close the ring. Okay, so this is how this pattern is done. How many ever flowers you need, you keep attaching until the desired length of your lace pattern is attained. Now I'm going to share with you a few combinations you can try out with this pattern. You can just keep on adding the number of floral motifs you need for the lace pattern and use them as edgings for your garments. Or you can add silk tassels and make them as a bookmark pattern. You can even make these as individual flowers and use them as fillings for your garment, or work out in pairs and use them as earrings. Okay, so this floral motif is a 6-petal split flower, and this is the pattern I followed for making this 6-petaled split floral motif. So you can just try any of these ways and add beauty to your garments. Hope you learned something new from this video. Thanks for watching. Happy tatting.